Hello and welcome on this InvestGlass video. I'm going to show you today how to save time, be more productive, faster, and boost your business with InvestGlass automations. So first you have to consider different types of automations. Automations, approval processes, and travel requests. Three offer different types of workflows that work slightly differently based on your needs. Let's say that automations will run based on a given trigger. So you launch this trigger and then you have something happening. The approval process will help you to decide if a contact, a prospect needs to be accepted. For instance, a travel request will restrict the access to the CRM during a travel request, but also help you to collect all the data of your colleagues while traveling to see if they were efficient in their commercial efforts. Now, let's look into the different aspects of the automation and then the approval process, and we'll finish with the travel request. So again, here InvestGlass helps you to be faster into all the steps of your day-to-day job. Go to My Account Company, then Automations, it's the little robot, and create a new rule. First, you're going to give a rule name. So I'm going to call it PECT, okay? And then I'm going to select the API name. So this is very helpful because you can launch automation on different objects, on different elements inside InvestGlass. So here I'm going to select contact, but you can also do transactions, portfolios, invoices, forms, accounts, you name it. Then the field description is very helpful, particularly if you have more than 5 rules, I would say. You might need to put more description to make sure that you remember why you build this automation rule. Step 2, you will have different execution methodology. The first is on record action. So it means each time you create a new record, you will launch this automation. It will be automated, so nothing will have to be done. But you can also decide that you want to launch this automation when the record is created or when the record is edited. This means that any field edited into this record, any field edited will trigger this automation. Edit is just when you want it for edit fields, so not the created one. Whereas field update is when only a specific field has been changed. So I change the business profile, and then and only then I want to have an automation for this record. Delete is when you delete record and form submit. So this is very helpful if you're sending an additional questionnaire, if you're sending an email, if you're basically someone is collecting data into your InvestGlass forms, and then and only then the automation will be launched. So this is extremely helpful. Now, you can decide also to launch this automation based on a recurring date. So here you will set the frequency, days, hours, minutes, and all the fields that are needed here to set up your scheduler for this workflow. Then stage pipeline, very helpful. So here I want to, for instance, send an email after I met my client or before I met my client, right? So before meeting with my client, I want to send the list of all the documents they have to prepare. Like this, the account opening process will be efficient. They won't be missing a piece, right? So that's how you're gonna launch the automation on stage pipeline. Super powerful. Now, when do you want to apply this rule? You can decide to apply this rule at different time based on the different conditions you want to set up inside your CRM. Usually we go for all fields, but you might say, no, you know what? I want to activate this automation rule only for a given and specific reason, a client type. Then this is where you'll put the condition. Next, which method? Here you see it's very rich. We'll go and look into each of them. First, it's send a message. So send a message, it's very simple. You're gonna send a communication either to members, so that's the employee of your company, or owner, it's the employee of a company. There's also related owner of this contact or the contact directly. This is super powerful. So you meet someone, you want to send a message or you want to send an email or an SMS. This is how you're going to do it. The system is powered with the template system, so I can pre-record my template, as you might know, or I can create my own template from here and say, dear email body, look into the field, first name, and then send my communication and link this communication to a form. For example, the checklist. So here, before I do the meeting, I will invite my prospects to upload their documents into InvestGlass CRM. So you're going to save a lot of time. And that's it for the message. Now, create a record will help you to create a new record based on different rules. So I want to create one record and then a second, perhaps, because you have, I don't know, family aspect that you want to record on a double contact. So that's a very interesting feature. Update record is widely used by InvestGlass user. This will help you to automate the visibility or change the prospect sales pipeline based on information. So why would you use this? Well, for instance, there are some information that you store into your custom fields, right? But you don't want to show them into the pipelines. Then you can, when the fields are different, change the pipeline. This type of use cases. It will also be very much used when you want to change a specific data inside the CRM. So if a value is X and then you want 2X instead of X, this is how you're going to change it. And very important here is to grant a portal access. So if you're using InvestGlass with the client portal, so you want to give an access to your prospect, your customers, your investors, your clients to the experience portal of InvestGlass, this is the option you need to trigger here with the grant access to client portal, and then you can decide it to do it with an email or with a username. Notification, well, you're just sending a notification to your colleagues. Task is to send a task, and then you can decide to split the rule because you want one rule, one automation to trigger two other automations. So this is how you're going to create a fork on two automations. You can also create a folder. So this is very helpful when you're creating new contacts and you want to create all folders for each new contact, each new account, each new relation. And an API, external API, will trigger a third-party API. Very helpful if you're connecting InvestGlass to multiple APIs outside. So this is the automation. When you save the automation, don't forget to activate the automation, and then the automation will just run. Then the approval process. To run an approval process correctly, first you have to go to My Account, Company, and go to the approvers that you find here and create your own group of approvers. Select a name and then select the approvers in the members list, right? You can also set this approvers list as enable for travel request approvals. We'll show you that later, but for now, just put it on no and click save. Then we will create an approval rule. The approval rules helps you to accept or reject a record. So this is very helpful if you're looking to automate the sales process with special conditions. If you have a KYC remediation case and you want to make sure that people are approved or not to just based on the data that you collected, this is where you want to work. This is with the approval process that you're going to save a lot of time. So here I can say account opening UK, voila. If you click on automated, then it means that each time a new record is created, automatically this is going to be launched. I suggest you to put no first. This means that you'll have to trigger the automation or the approval process manually. Obviously, you can change later on. Automated approval rules, again, will launch the approval rules automatically. You select an object, you select a group, and then you can decide to set up chains and parallels. For that, we'll have an additional video that will come later. It's, I would say, it's the next level in terms of sophisticity. The same for submitter roles. You can decide that only a given role of users will be able to send this approval process. I would just keep this for a bit later. Then where you want to apply the rules. So this is very, very powerful, because obviously if you set up with an automation, you better have a condition for this automation. Otherwise, each time there's something going on, it's going to launch an approval request, right? So here you can decide the conditions or just skip the logic if you want it to do manually. Then how are you going to send the notifications for this approval request? So you can send notifications. So it's the little notifications in the bell. You can send an email, and then you'll have different templates. If you want to change those templates, go to My Account Company and Communications, My Account Company and Communications, and there you'll find all the templates. Then step 4, what are the conditions? Okay, so when you give this approval process, how do you accept it, reject it? How are you going to manage all that? This is possible with this system. So all approved means that everyone approved, all reject, everyone rejected. One approved, one reject is only one vote. Time for approval, it means that you're gonna give 5 days, 10 days, 1 month to give the approval process. We don't care about the result. We don't care about the number of approvers. And all responded means all the people into the approvers list responded. Then you can decide to show the recall, the reassign, and the task. The recall means that the approvers, the person who actually submitted the approver, can call it back. Reassign means that you have a I'll do it button. So if you have a team of compliance officer or sales, or if you have a team of more than 2 people working in different offices, you want to have this reassign button like this. You need to say, hey, I'm going to take care of this deal, or I don't have time for that. Well, if you have time, you just click on I'll do it, and this will notify your colleagues that you will take care of this deal. Very helpful if you have a big group of approvers. And create a task, you create a task. Last but not least, how are you going to communicate at the end? So here, if you have a chain or if you have large groups of approvers, be careful of this step, because it's going to produce a lot of messages, a lot of nudges, a lot of pollution, we can say. Make sure that you restrict the messages based on what the approvers and the group in the chain have to receive. Don't put too much, okay? And here we offer you all the options. So you can decide to activate these messages based on different roles those people played or those colleagues played into the chain. So have a play with this. You'll find everything you need. Just be sweet on that. Just put only what's needed. Now let's go on the travel request. So the travel request, it's an app, widget that you can set up inside InvestGlass portal, which will help your team before they travel to pull all the information and restrict the access of the CRM during the travel request. For that, go to My Account Company, go to the apps and portal, and find the travel request widget. That is the default widgets of InvestGlass. And here, make sure that it's toggled to yes, so either the company default or to the given group that is going to use this travel request inside InvestGlass portal. So this obviously is only for your employees, your members of your institution, your company. It's not for the clients, right? Click on the group, click save, and then on the approval process, on the travel request, you'll find it into the app page. Extremely simple. The machine has been built for each employee, but also for their colleagues to fill in a travel request. So if you're organizing a travel request with 10 people, only one person can be in charge of pulling the data and sending this for approval. You will find here the list of the clients and prospects you can visit. You can also give a different authorization based on countries, because each country can have some specificities. In finance, for instance, you have the cross-border test, but it can be also used for COVID pandemic or any type of travel jab that you need to take. But if you go in South Africa or Africa, Asia, or in the Americas, right? So this is the screen as you find here. And what is very powerful is that once you submit your travel request, head or your head of staff will receive a nudge, a notification, and will be able to accept or reject this travel request. As a user of InvestGlass, you will then find all the answers collected into this history page. And last but not least, to show you how it works, if the travel request has been accepted and only 2 contacts will be visited during the start date to this end date, the whole CRM will be blocked. Only those contacts will be visible into your machine. So here again, you're going to save a lot of time. It's going to relieve the pressure on compliance, and you're going to have just a very powerful CRM. I hope you enjoy watching this InvestGlass video. We talked about automations, approval process, and travel request. If you have any questions, send us an email at contact@investglass.com or just visit us at contact@investglass.com. See you next time.